Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. In this video I'm going to be ranking the top 5 most interesting real and run videos on this channel. The first one is the Saab. I learned so much from starting up that car. That got a very early injection system that is actually mechanical. It's a mechanical constant injection system. Like that. I'm pretty sure that there came some fuel out of this now. What I learned from working on that car is that that system really does not like standing around. It needs to be used as much as possible. The more it stands still, the more trouble you will get. And as a matter of fact, I still have that car. The project is ongoing for a long time. And it's back to being quite problematic. But in the startup video, I got it to run pretty decent actually. Oh yes, that's fuel. Still a bit old, but fuel is here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's slightly moist back there, and fuel came out of this. Very little though. But let's try one more time and see if it happens one more time. It's not a lot, but it is coming out. So what I'm going to attempt is to fool the system into thinking that a lot of air is coming through, and that way make it force more fuel into the injectors. I'm gonna hold it up a little bit. Oh yeah, I think that is doing the trick actually. Oh yeah. I'm gonna keep on doing this until that I can get it to idle a little bit by controlling the height of this with my hands. Are you serious? Just trying to check that everything is as it is supposed to be. That's amazing. What? The main issue was just to drain all the old fuel, get some new fuel in, make sure that it arrived all the way up to the injectors, which is not really injectors but more like nozzles, and then it fired up. I found the Commander in a garden with a tarp over it. It was hard to really know how long it had been standing there, but at least 10 years according to pictures from Google. And it's an ongoing project on the channel. I just bought paint for it actually, so hopefully I will be returning to that project very soon. Number 4 on the list is a new project. I picked it up in December month and now it's late January. It's the Citroen AX Sport. That has been standing in a garage since 2007, I think it is. So almost not started for 20 years. I did a quick clean of the carb. I tried to crank it, and the starter motor seized. Yeah, as you can see, this is not only loose, it's also cracked. I got a new one very cheaply, and here it is. I'm gonna fit this. So I picked up a new starter motor, installed that, but I had issues with actually starting and using the keys. I used my remote starter to begin with, but I looked into it and could see that the wire going from the ignition to the actual starter was not going to the starter, it was going into the reverse switch on the gearbox. That puzzled me for quite a while. I thought, how could you make that mistake? I was told the car was running when it was parked. So how can that wire suddenly be there? Because this way it was impossible to start the car using the key unless that you put the car into reverse, because someone made the system so that the reverse switch on the gearbox would be part of the wire going to the starter motor. So it had to be in reverse to have the continuity through that switch to lead the power to the actual starter. So it was an anti-theft device, which was pretty fun to figure out. Yep. And that's really part of the charm about fixing up these old cars. It's no longer just that kind of car. You cannot just take a manual and look in that and expect everything to be like it's supposed to be, because the car has already lived maybe even a couple of lives, been used, abused and all that. Stuff has been changed, stuff has been tampered with and all that. And it's like trying to uncover a burial site to figure out what's going on in this engine bay, why is it not working, what needs to be done and all that. It's so interesting. Number 3 on the list is a project that I haven't really touched much. I still own that car. I am going to fix it at some point, hopefully soon. It really made me want to pick it up making this video. It's the Renault 4 Gendarmerie. It's a police car from France that I somehow got my hands on. Bonjour! Okay, so now we should have some power. Woohoo! It's pretty much done already, this car. So now I just need to figure out which wires goes where. The reason why the startup was so special on that one is not because it was very difficult. It was actually pretty easy. I used an external fuel tank because the fuel tank is dirty. I had to do a little bit of cleaning up on the ignition system, I think, as far as I remember. And then it fired up pretty much instantly and ran really nicely. It's been off the road for many years. I'm not sure how long, but it's definitely long. That's visible on the car. But the funny thing was that the key was gone. Someone had broken the ignition barrel because the steering lock was on. And what I had to do to start this car was actually to hotwire it, which sounds a little bit more cool than it actually is, on a Renault 4 from the 80s. Everyone can do it. On newer cars, of course, it's a lot more complicated, but it was just a matter of taking 2 wires and connecting them together. Then the car had ignition all the time and I could use my remote starter to start it. I think it was quite fun to hotwire a French police car in my garage. That was a moment that I probably will never forget. I got them down here. It's hard to see, I needed to get a light. You can see it has been unwrapped around the barrel, so this could be pulled out. That means that the steering wheel can now turn. Then I just need to figure out which wires does what. It has already been cut, one of them, and it's going around. If I touch these 2 together, the car is in ignition. I have taken a fuel canister and put the pipe down there, or the fuel line down into that. Yeah, we got fuel. This could end up being a really easy starter. But remember, there is no coolant in the system, so I just want to put some water in there. I'm not going to run it for long, of course, but I would like to just give it some kind of cooling. Something must be leaking pretty badly since it's completely empty. Okay. That was surprisingly easy. And it sounded pretty nice, to be honest. Number 2 on the list is not that one, but it is related to this one. I'm right behind my father, right there. Oh, you can see just a little bit of me. This was my parents' car back then. It's called the Austin Princess in Denmark. It's known as the Princess everywhere else, but it's Austin Princess. And I was lucky to find one in a tent, actually in the same garden as the Saab 900 Commander. I got the Princess back in 2022, and that project learned me a lot about starting up engines, cars that has been standing for a long time, especially outside. But it hadn't been off the road that long, but it turned out that the airbox had been converted to a mouse nest completely. But besides that, and a good clean of the two carburetors on that 6-cylinder 2.2 engine, it actually fired up pretty easily. Today I really hope to start up the Austin Princess. So this is rather small, but the most important bit is that the terminals need to be able to reach, of course. Turn the key for the first time with the power on in my history of owning this car. Oh yeah, we have light. But I gotta say, it spins really easy. Next up, I'm going to drain the fuel, because if I'm lucky, then the carbs aren't gummed completely up by all fuel. But I don't want to begin filling them up with old stale fuel now. Take a look at this. There we go, it's off. It is so close. It is gurgling, but listen to it. And no, it's not just a sound effect that I put on to make it sound like it's running. It's actually running. Take a look at that. It is spinning, but it's completely smooth. This is what you call a smooth engine. That's a car that I have completed. It's no longer in my fleet. I sold it. It's still driving around. But it was a special experience to actually take a car from my childhood and reviving it and driving it myself for the first time. That was pretty fun. Number 1 on my list relates to this one. This is the mudguard on the Skoda 105S. Ta-da! I got the car home. It was a big task to get it up on the trailer because 3 out of 4 wheels pretty much locked up. But we managed by using the hand winch and some boards and different kind of stuff. Now comes the time to get it down. That will be even worse because I have nothing to pull on inside the garage. I have just tried to take off the wheels and do the normal procedure of hammering on the drums to get them to release, but they are completely stuck. It won't work. So yeah, I don't really know how to get it down just yet. Another thing is I parked the car yesterday. Now all the doors are frozen. And I was honestly just expecting to take that out of the garage, look it over, making a video about trying to start it up and then probably just scrap it for parts. But that car was just in such a nice condition. You couldn't see it at first, but oh, I almost didn't even have to weld anything. I think I welded a small hole in that car. everything just came back to life in the most extraordinary way that I have ever experienced. It looked like something that was ready for the scrap heap when I dragged it out. Yes. It is turning. Woo! It actually turns. Nothing really. Let's try. Yes! Wow! Wow! And it's idling already. Wow! 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 It's a textbook example of how to start up a car. Put in a battery, fresh fuel, prime the system, clean up the points, ready to go, and it fired up. I might add on all these cars, I also did oil changes and so on. There's a lot of stuff done to those cars that you don't see in these small clips. Go and check out the playlist if you want to see what's done. Normally I do an oil change, I do a check over of the compression and make sure that the engine turns a full revolution without hitting anything before attempting to start it. But this is exactly what I love to do. Firing up cars that hasn't been driving or running for a long time. It feels almost mythical, I think, when you hear that engine fire up the first time. It feels like reviving something that's already dead, which basically is what's going on. And it's a really, if you haven't tried it and you like cars and you like wrenching, just go and pick up something that has been standing for a long time, get it cheap, hopefully get it for free, and try to fire it up. It doesn't really matter if you actually get that car back on the road. It's always nice to do that, but just getting the stuff to run and work again is an amazing experience that I think everyone with dirty hands should try. Thanks for watching. Go and check out the playlist if you haven't already, and see you in the next one.